Hey, love thy enemies. What's up? Wow. Wow. Mr. Richie getting a rework? Probably. So last time, um, last time we did Magic Ruler and Fair Servant and the video game promos. Beforehand, I did Metal Raiders and LB. A similar situation this time. On my own free time, I did LON and LOD. Because otherwise, I feel like this will just take forever. And I will go over the two sets that I did do off stream. Yo, Lee, what's up? Been busy day, but should be a good day. Excited for tomorrow because tomorrow is Friday. Should be lighter schedule on my end too. How's everybody doing out there in their own reality? It's been a week. It's been a week. But all's good. I like to think. Gotta spread the positivity. I streamed today and yesterday. Keep saying I have like a wonky bit rate, but I don't think it's really affecting the stream at all. So I'll just ignore it. One a week. All right. Hey, there you go. Oh, Vegas Heat. Oh, goodness gracious. Don't envy you. Today was a really busy work day. Part of me is like, I wish I wasn't streaming again because technically I've streamed twice on like my work thing, but it's like, hey, people like it, and I got to get this stuff done. So I'm sure there are cards on here that I may have missed. Some cards that the individual may think should get fixed. For the most part, I kept out vanillas. Similar to what I mentioned last week's stream. This isn't to like make up effects per se. It's essentially fix effects. Some cards they do need some more work, but generally speaking, it's like nothing too heavy in terms of changing the effects to at least still keep the identity of the card existing. Yeah, at least got to work on a fun deck. Hopefully, it's a good deck. So like, some of these cards I was staring at for a while. Chosen one, select one monster and two non-monster cards from your hand. Similar thing, except the outcome is a little bit different. It's not as gambly and broken, in the bad way. Or your opponent selects one of them. If it's a monster, special summon. Then if you're not, the card is shuffled back in the deck. So it's still random, but you don't lose all the cards if like the wrong one's picked. Crimson Sentry. A bunch of similar cards kind of like this, where you tribute it, return monster destroy the turn back to your hand. I just made it like a more basic effect than anything else. Cyclone Laser increases grace by 800 points, which is a lot better. It makes Gradius go up to, I believe, 2k attack. Dancing Fairy, essentially just swap the stats. Deal a Phantom. Increase attack for both players' graveyards. Fairy Guardian, similar thing in Crimson Sentry, but it works for spell cards. Fire Sorcerer is just, you only lose one card. Which you could argue that like some strategies might be better. I think the card just in general would be better of you losing less resources. See, Grave Robber's Retribution. During each of your standby phases, you inflict 100 each of your opponent's life points for each of your monsters that remove from play. Fine burn stuff for the banner strategy. Jamboree Machine. By having where you can special summon a slime token in any position. But But you also get the choice to pop the card instead of being forced to keep it because you can't summon normally. Aside from setting, Jam Defender I made a little bit better too, where it switches its attack target to Revival Jam. However, Revival Jam cannot be destroyed by battle. So it's kind of like Revival Jam's anime effect, but you just have Defender on it. So it kind of makes into like a fun little Spirit Reaper in a way. Lady Panther, similar thing, but for traps. The mask cards I changed a little bit too. Brutality increases by 1,500 and loses 1,000 defense. So once per turn, you have to pay 1,000 life points because like we already have access to spare. Like give you something that if you're gonna pay like all this life points, you might as well get some like really good attack with it. Or you could use on your opponent and make them lose 1,000 defense, and then you can punch over stuff. So you get some utility with that. Massive Dispel. You target any back row card, and the controller takes 500 damage. So it's you get a little more flexibility with what you're able to put the card on. What's up? What's up, Moose? New Jam Defender is the same effect with as Marshmallow Glasses. Yeah, basically, but for Revival Jam. Yo, Lead Lover, what's up? Revival Janjo. Ooh, splashy. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like Marshmallow Glass. I wasn't thinking of Marshmallow Glasses. I just figured it. If you're gonna target, you might as well do that. And then maybe that's what Konami thought of as well when they invented Marshmallow Glasses. Nuvia the Wicked. Same thing. You can't normal summon it, but you can special summon if you control a mask card. So it goes conjunction with the deck. So now you can activate the mask card and then get a free special summon beater. I think that's good. Return of the Doomed. Discard a monster card and revive a return a monster that was destroyed battle. And you could make it even better, but I feel like at that point it's just monster reincarnation. There could be an argument to make this where it special summons the monster, but I don't want to change it too terribly much. Revival Jam. It's fairly similar. I just made its revival cost a little bit less. It's only 800, so it's ever so slightly less. Because I don't want to make it too busted. And then the special summon, it's not... the special summon, you can special summon in any position. So you can actually decide if you want to be like defensive or offensive with it. Spirit of the Breeze, I switched its stats, and I also changed its attack to 1,500 to balance it out. Spiritualism, it returns up to 2 spell and trap cards to the hand. It cannot be negated, which is good. I considered having it like pop the card, but at that point it's just Night Beam. So if you're going to run this card, you might as well get a little bit more value off of it, especially if you're just returning. You know, it's like a weird true nade. Then Tornado Bird, kind of similar situation where you can return up to 2 spell and trap cards. So you're not like forced to kind of bounce your own stuff if you don't want to. And then we get to LOD, where Bubble Crash is going to be activated when any player has 6 or more cards in their hand, and then they have to go down to 4 instead of 5. Because that just seems like a nice change, right? Get a little more advantage. Hades, I removed this that it can't be special summoned from the graveyard because I think that's stupid. It really hurts the card. Disappear removes up to 3 cards, so it's not as good as like Soul Release, but it's a trap card, so you can still chain it and still banish like a chunk of stuff. Dragon Manipulator and later down Shadow Tamer just takes it's I believe they're just not flips anymore. It's just like a once per turn like steal effect for dragons and fiends respectively. Yo, Goldstorm, what's up? Give End of Anubis a decent defense stat so it doesn't get deleted by Moon. Oh, I'm sure we'll get to End of Anubis. Dragon's Gunfire. If you control a dragon monster with 1,000 damage or destroy a face-up monster, just made it slightly better. Fushi no Tori just gave it much better attack because you kind of wanted to have like good attack for its effect. Maharagi basically have it where it's a similar effect, But if it's a spirit monster, you can add it to your hand, so it synergizes more spirit cards. Otahime just bumped up its stats a little bit. Patrician Darkness, similar thing, bumped up its stats slightly, so it can at least beat over like a spy when spy comes around. Skull Knight number 2, again, very similar effect, except that this time you actually can get 2 out from the deck, which is good. Dragon's Bead, you don't have to discard for this anymore. The Hunter with the 7 weapons. It's a once per turn during the main phase 1. So like each turn you can kind of change it up. And then Winged Minion. You tribute it and increases the attack of the fiend monster by 1,000 points instead of, I believe, 800 as before. I like these changes. They really buff the cards up, making them OP. Yeah, that's the kind of tricky thing. Is like we don't want to make them OP. We just want to kind of take the idea and be like, all right, what if they didn't have like just absurd restrictions that kind of makes them unplayable? Because like, what's the point? I always felt that bumping Phoenix's attack enough to hit over Skull made incredible boss monster. Oh, you mean like Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys? So, did you see the Sparking Zero trailer for the fusions? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited. We're supposed to get a new trailer soon, I believe. I think at Summer Games Fest. Because I'm also getting kind of sick of like how they're just drip feeding us stuff. It's like give us some like actual game things more than just like a couple of roster. I think it's really cool though, with the like all the fusion characters. Like I've always liked the fusion stuff. That's the Moss stuff. We haven't seen Goku Black yet, or but Zamasu is cool though. You think the roster widened? Well, they said it's going to be like 160 some characters, right? So I don't know, because like I guess my only complaint is just like there's going to be so many super characters, and a lot of characters that people probably like, like movie characters and Dragon Ball and GT stuff is probably going to get cut and save for like DLC down the road. Which I mean, the more content the better, but it's kind of like the 3DS Fusion games. Yeah, like we're not like probably not gonna get any of those like what if characters and stuff because I think those are really cool. Yeah, I hope they make like the fusion thing, like to make the fusions like really good. If you're gonna combine characters like mid match, I think that just makes sense for me. Because otherwise, like just play the fusion characters like as a whole, right? Like there's gotta be some sort of benefit, right? Whether like it heals, has like it gets like more health or stronger attack or some sort of buff for doing that. Like I'm always hoping this is going to be like Xenoverse C, where it's supported till the end of time, but because it's a Tenkaichi game, it's going to be really good and fun, and worth the DLC investment. So let's jump into Pharaonic Guardian, shall we? Wanted to save it for stream. We'll see a fusion of Tien and Piccolo. That could be kind of neat. Like I miss like the fun what if characters, right? Like the Tiencha and like Super Saiyan 3 Broly and Cell and Boo with like Cell Absorbed, like stuff like that. Like Budokai Tenkaichi 3 gave us the Great Apes, but that was kind of lame in all honesty. Give me Super Saiyan 4 like Gohan and stuff like that, you know? Like dare I say Super Saiyan 5? Yo, True Blue Re, what's up? Unpopular opinion, but the new DBZ game needs some OG DB characters. Oh, I 100% agree. King Piccolo, Tambourine, Tao, General Blue, Nam, and Ader almost never appear. They should once in a while. Oh yeah, no, I think it's a shame that Dragon Ball kind of forgets that it has like half the story, right? It's like if Naruto games just didn't include like the first half of it. I mean, granted, the Z stuff is when the kind of the philosophy of the fighting changed a bit, but it's like yeah, no, give me a lot of these like Dragon Ball characters that are like kind of creative and fun. Like hell, give me Drum, you know, give me Dragon Ball Adult Goku and Dragon Ball Piccolo. You know, like stuff we kind of saw with the Kakarot DLC, right? Like, where's adult Chi Chi in any of these games? I think the only time she appeared was in like Super Dragon Ball Z. Oh yeah, the graphics look amazing in this new game. Arale, you got like Devil Man, you know, put the Mummy in the game. Sergeant Metallic, I love to have Sergeant Metallic in there. Give me the Ox Team. Give me was like Bacterian. Was that the guy? Like this guy who smelled, or was it Giran? Was that the like the dragon thing Goku fought that like shoots the sticky pink goo thing? Grandpa Gohan, yeah. Launch, honestly, like peel off, peel off machine. Like, there's so much they could give us that they just don't. And I think it really is a shame that like they just pretend Dragon Ball started at Z. Like if it was up to me, and actually on my Patreon, I do have a video of this was like a couple months ago of me like making sort of like my own roster for Sparking Zero of like kind of what I expect with a mix of like what I would like. And I would like them to at least have some base roster representation of like the movies, Dragon Ball and GT. So I think it'd be such a shame if it's just Z and Super and just like kind of forget everything else. Even if they added like a couple slots for like Daima stuff, even if it's early on. You know, give us a couple slots for like some what if stuff. I think that'd be fun. That's just me. Yeah, I completely understand why they don't do Dragon Ball stuff. Like I don't think they're gonna start changing now. But it is a shame really that they like not only do they not really think about it too much. I feel like even like the afterthought of it is also just kind of lingering. Which is why I'm hoping why like DLC would like do a little bit more. Like I really liked how Kakarot had like the Tenkaichi Budokai arc, like the Piccolo one, like some of the other like Dragon Ball stuff. Like I love that. Like the art looks different too and stuff. Like give me like giant Piccolo. Like if they're gonna have giant characters in these Tenkaichi games, I mean that makes perfect sense to have some of these giant characters, right? Kid Goku and the Kid Goku Great Ape and the Peel Off Machine and Giant and Giant Piccolo and Sergeant Metallic, stuff like that. Hell, they could even add like Mr. Popo and Kami. You know, I think Kami should be playable in a game. I've been wanting Kami since Tenkaichi 3 was announced. That was one of the characters I wanted. I'm like, oh, they're adding Babidi. They should add Kami. Why not? Could have him do something in like the like Garlic Junior arc. Like so what I'm hoping really is that when they do DLC for like movies and stuff, which I assume they will, that they would make it where it's like they go full on in like certain movies, right? Like let's say they do a Tree of Might one. You get Turles, you get the Tree of Might stage, You get all of the subordinates, and whatever else the game has. The card has part of Kakarot. Kakarot looks really good. I'm not a fan of the game. Like I got it when it came out and I played through it. It just wasn't really for me. What's the best way for me to do this? I don't think it's gonna matter. I was gonna. Oh yeah. I was gonna change. Like, wait, no, it's crap. Hold on a second. I need to reorganize this a little bit. Okay. No, not that. And then I can have this here, roughly. Yeah, there we go. That works, right? I know this is a little crunched on this end, but it's not least of my concerns. By the way, let's get some of these stream likes up, shall we? Got like 0 likes. It's criminal. Let's see. So A Claw Scorpion. I'm not gonna read every effect out loud, but I'll just mentally read the effects to see if that's something be worth changing. You always need to remind me there's an option to like streams. Yeah, hey, look, I mean, whatever gets the stream out to people and engagements, any sort of engagement helps, like the channel out. Clip the current face down. So it's a reflipper. Direct face down fits monster. That's fine. You could argue its base stats could be better, but yeah, probably fine. I think Widjot's fine. No problem. I mean, that's the thing. Like, and that's always known for like YouTubers to be like, oh, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. But like, people forget, and the results show that when people say that stuff in videos, people like the audience responds. Like, it's one of those like things. Like, people don't really want to do it. People don't like when other people do it, but it works. So Widjot's probably fine. Why is Owl of Luck Necro Valley support? Like, a cat's like, I kind of get it because, like, Egyptian mythology and stuff. But what's with the owl? Because I feel like this guy like would just be a little better. Like, why even have that, right? Terraforming is out in this set. I'm gonna open up so I can just like copy like the effects on this thing. Yeah, I feel like Owl Luck is just like, is there like a weird trivia thing with this? It's more of a Japanese thing. Yeah, exactly. Like, why even need that? Like, I'm just gonna get rid of the secondary effect. Like, it defeats the whole point of it. I mean, I don't like, even so, like, at least with like Cat, it's like it's a trap card, right? Like, that's gonna be really powerful. Owl, like, this guy just searches a field card, which isn't as good. and you already need a field spell to search for a search for a field spell. We did do Dark Sage last stream. It was at the end of the stream though. We have video game promos here. So we made Dark Sage a fusion monster with Dark Magician and Time Wizard because that just makes more sense. It must be fusion summoned. When fusion summoned, add one spell card from deck to your hand. You can only use effective Dark Sage once per turn. So we basically made it into a fusion monster, and that its effect, and the card can't be like abused, right? It has to be fusion summoned like Dark Paladin does. So you can't do like some magical scientist shenanigans either. And it also only works once per turn just to have a little bit more safety with that. God forbid. But yeah, if you have any questions for like any cards that like from like the previous sets, we can always cover them. Yo, Rocket Cat, what's up? All for the Janjo. What is up, my guy? Living the dream. Living the dream. Making Yu-Gi-Oh content, editing videos for work, going on dates. You know how it goes. See, Arsenal Bug. I think it's fine. It's the way it's like it's supposed to be designed as like a like a backup beater kind of thing. It's fine. Hope everyone's doing all right. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know what I mean. That's a weird secondary effect for this card. Yeah, fixing old cards. We were doing this last week, and I've done some of them off stream as well. But after doing the whole tier listing, I'm like, a lot of these cards, it's like they're on the precipice of just being like slightly better. And so I just decided to take it upon myself to like make a whole doc sheet of cards I can make better. You know, everything is within reason. I would argue. Some are slight changes, some are a little bit more heavy changes, but I try not to go too crazy about it. I feel like we can fix bottomless shifting sand though. I'll probably make this list available somewhere at some point when I finish it. It's just gonna be DM era stuff. Arsenal Bug's effect should be changed to gain 1,000 instead of to lose. It could be summon off a giant rat. 2k if there's nothing else around the field. Hmm. But you can also use it with like the later release skill drain though. Like that's kind of nice. I could definitely see an argument for it having like starting. But yeah, there's definitely an argument for it. Or if you control a face up insect monster gains attack. But I think the whole idea is that it has like high attack to begin with. That's like the lure of it. Kind of like a boar soldier. How did we fix boar soldier? Like we like raised its attack basically and made it a little bit less self-destructive. But bottomless swifty shand. Face a monster with the highest attack on the field. Yeah, like I don't know what's the point of that secondary? It just seems like pointless, honestly. Like I think it's an initial effect, like it's fine, like as it is. Just get rid of that secondary one. I remember this card being really freaking weird. It looks so cool though, right? Like it is a one kick-ass looking card. Equipped to like basically weak monster, and then when they attack, they get 2,500. I feel it'd be better if this card just didn't again like these weird limitations to it. Like this actually be kind of a little nutty almost. Yeah, give Sangan a big ass gun. Like maybe something like this. I never have a good spot for my mic. The Jolly Buster Rancher. Like have it only a monster without during damage calculation only, I think it should say. And maybe we may just make it 2,000 just to make it a little bit more balanced. Yeah, smaller boost. So at least something like this, like okay, you equip to like a weak monster, and then they can like punch over like big things, and that's essentially all it does. But at least by this point, I mean, you could crash a sand game with a BLS with this thing. Like it's not Moon Mirror Shield, but it's like an early version of that almost. It only works with weak monsters. So it's not like you're gonna be running a ton of stuff that can play with it. Ring Karibo. Yeah, we can use that with the Ring Karibo. Mm, I don't want to change it. Like if I made it like Burner of the Mighty, kind of, it's basically more like Burner of the Mighty. Whereas like we want to keep it like what the card is designed to do. And it's designed to equip to a weak monster to get really big attack to punch over big monsters. And I feel like if we make it a little bit weaker, that still gets the point across while still kind of getting over some certain things. They have the right to Buster. This could potentially be too strong, but eh. Yeah, like it's. I mean, we're not making every card like busted or anything like that. Just taking a card and just you know slightly adjusting it to like certain annoyances that the card just inherently has. Uh, damage calculation. That's between two monsters. Like damage calculation doesn't include, or doesn't it does include direct attack. So maybe we like specify when. What about when you or when you battle an opponent's monster during damage calculation only? So now we specify it has to be a monster battle. So this doesn't. So now this does not work with like direct attacking. I think that's better. That's much better. Like I don't think it'd be good for like direct attackers to start hitting in for like 3,000. because it's a slightly bigger, like it's like a double axe spear almost. But because it's with a weaker monster, you kind of it's your magic cylinder bait. What's there? What's during damage calculation? So I don't think you can use magic cylinder during it. Card shuffle. This card is atrocious. How do you card shuffle? Pay 300 life points to shuffle either player's deck. I mean, this technically synergizes with our newly made Tainted Wisdom, which is like a chain energy for shuffling. Card shuffle, though. You bug your opponent with it. Like it's card shuffle. Isn't there a card? I think of so. I think I'm thinking of something in Flaming Eternity. Can you traffic at any point? I suppose it does. I think at the very least, it should be no cost. Especially if they get like once per turn. Shuffle your graveyard. Pay almost all your life points to shuffle your and your opponent's deck cards together, making one deck. Oh god. I mean, I guess I suppose if you need a card to just shuffle the deck, you got this shuffles the deck. I mean, Card Trader is a lot better. Like we could even like kind of stretch it beyond where it's like, yo, Patrick has subscribed. Yo, I don't think I've seen that animation before. I think what I'm leaning towards is do magic cards have quick like a quick effect text when a card is solves that places a card top of the deck, you can shuffle that player's deck. Maybe something like that, where it kind of you can quick effect. Or no, it should be. I think I'm trying to think of like the lingo on this. Quick effect. So now it's a continuous thing. So like when a card is activated, like Big Eye or Spiral Drone, if we're going something like that, then you can automatically shuffle the deck. Greasy fingers. I don't hate that, but I just want to keep true like what the card is kind of doing, and like if it's the whole idea is to like you shuffle the deck because of like a stacking purpose or whatever. Or top or bottom of the deck. Let's give some variety here. We're not monsters. You don't think? Okay. Well, what would be like the lingo, right? Because it's like there's gotta be some lingo that lets you do that, or does it just automatically activate? I don't know with like these kind of cards. Does it just automatically work? Because it technically meets the condition when a card resolves. Like an ultimate offering kind of thing. Okay. Oh wait. How about I think I know what the text should be during either player's turn. I think that's would be the correct text. A field spell. Because I think if we specify during either player's turn, then it can activate, right? Am I wrong? Freaking linguistics in Yu-Gi-Oh! I kind of like linguistics though, because it makes you feel smart, doesn't it? Also, this is the last stream of the month, but I made this like goal thing up there. I thought 25 would be somewhat feasible, but I guess I was wrong. During either player's turn, when a card is resolved, that places a cards on top or so on the top, or on the top or bottom of the deck, you can shuffle that player's deck. I like the strongest version would be non cost shuffling at any time. You might pay 5 points. Players. That would be kind of interesting, right? Like maybe like before the draw phase, you can look at the top card of the deck and then shuffle it. I do like that. Though that might be a bit. Though I do think that this might be a little better just because card shuffle, like the whole idea, like isn't like looking at the card. It is pure shuffling. So at least giving it the option to like shuffle in conjunction to like stuff that would require a shuffle, I think is more of the way to go. But I do like the that chicken gamey kind of shuffling thing. Like the idea of shuffling is fun. I feel like you hasn't really tapped into like the kind of more like tactile side of it. Yeah, like we're not necessarily making like all these cards great, but all these cards you could like kind of look at and think about. Like, okay, if there's a deck like Spiral, for example, right? This card theoretically use against. Because like not all these cards are going to be like meta viable or anything. Like, a lot of these cards are still going to be pretty bad. It's just a little bit more thought provoking. Yeah, Magic has like weird stuff. Like, don't they have a card that you can like play outside like your deck and stuff? I think I recall a friend having something like that. Gravekeeper's Charm. I I think I know what to do with this card. I do need to look up one other card. Basically, makes into that. A lot of Magic Gathering lets you pick out your top deck whenever. Sphinx of Dwar Isle is an example. All right, well, thanks for stopping by, Goldstorm. Definitely check out the stream VOD after it's live. Actually, wait, no, I'm looking at the updated text of this thing. Um, yeah, the updated text basically clear up my issue with this thing. Never mind. I was gonna make this thing like protect Gravekeepers by battle, but the updated text already states that. You know, essentially Woboku. If you see this card when searching your library, special summon it. I mean, I kind of like that. Like if Yu-Gi-Oh had something janky like that. This card I really like just the art. And like the problem is, I don't think it's like it's worth fixing per se. Like yeah, its stats could be better and yada yada yada, but like it's designed fine, I guess. Like there's nothing inherently bad about it. I just really like the art. Like, it's kind of cool. You can look at all the back row cards. That's probably some of these cards. Like some of them are they're bad, but there's like designed fine. Also, it is so blue outside. Like the sun's still out, and that kind of surprises me. Yugioh's old art had so much soul into it. Oh, don't hate the new one. Hits different. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't hate the new stuff. It's just, but there's definitely a different vibe with the old stuff. It's like I like Coffin Cellar too. I think Coffin Cellar should just be bumped up in strength because it doesn't really work in burn decks because this is not what burn strategies do. So if you're having something that's just like inflict damage when something's sent, I think you can bump it up to like 500. It's fine. Make it ever so slightly better. Like Curse of Aging, like Pharaonic Guardian is one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh sets. And like I wouldn't like back in the day, I wouldn't make decks with just like all these cards. Like I would throw this freaking Curse of Aging in, like just because like I thought it was kind of cool. And honestly, Curse of Aging, I don't think it needs to be just till the end of the turn, right? Like if it's only 500 and you're discarding a card, just make it permanent. Like why make it a thing? Because like there's so many few ways you're gonna like opportunities you're gonna be able to like make full use out of it. Soul of the cards. Got the heart of the cards, then you got the soul of the cards. You know what I mean? Curse of Royal. The activation card that destroys a magic or trap card. It's like Kind of neat. It's kind of like it hits like Breaker and MST. Very specific, but whatever. I really like Dark Coffin. Yo, Blade, Scorpio's up. We did make Coffin Seller 500. It's right here. Oh, all the Aegis up is so cool. That's why I'm a big fan of Pharaonic Guardian. When this face sword, the graveyard opponent must look. I think Dark Coffin would be better if you just had the choice. Cause like the card's like pretty solid. Yeah, it's the problem of like it does have some weird problems. Let me clean all this up. You're saying for each monster sent. Hmm. So like, hmm. For each, I don't hate that. 'Cause then you have more like combo potential with that. And I kind of like that idea. Select one of the following effects. So like you could use like a heavy storm with this, but at least like you would still get the choice on opponent's side of the field. Destroy it. Yeah, that's better. At least give you the option if you're gonna put this effort in the trap card. All the artworks are set make for a storyline of its own. Oh yeah, no, I've talked about before. I think I discussed it in my favorite set video, and probably another video. I'm sure. More people should like fuck with this card. I think. I think. Mm, Dark Room Nightmares, like this, does actually work with like normal burn stuff. You just don't really see people play it, just because Chain Energy is just a better version of it, right? So I don't know like what you would change with this, right? Without just making it essentially Chain Energy. Because that would feel too broke, right? 500, like 1,000 for each one. Like I think Darkroom and Nightmare might just be kind of unfortunate for its own thing. Well, it does work with burn damage. That's the thing. I'm just worried that if we bump it up to like 500, it would be too strong in conjunction. Does it work with Chain Energy though? Like if your opponent activates a card, I guess like it's your card you control. I'm sure it does. Does it? Oh, it does not work with toll or chain energy. Okay, that makes it better. Yeah, because like those like because like they're your cards, but like they're activating it. So I think that's a little bit more fair. Make it work with battle damage too. I don't hate that either. Takes damage from. Although wait, why doesn't it work with changes though? If it's just take damage from a card effect. Oh, because it's a cost. That's why. That's why. Just answer my own question. Yeah, we're working on this. We're working on this dimly lit room of like what are they doing? Is he scratching his back? Is that is that Gorg the Strong and Great Dizard back there? Who are they? I don't think I'd raise to 1,000 damage. I think that's too strong. Each time your opponent takes damage, except Dark Room of Nightmare, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Yeah, that sounds more reasonable. I think that can add up. Burglars. This card could be better too. Because it's like you never play this in a Dark Scorpion deck, right? And what's the reason for that? Is it because they have low stats? Is it because their effect sucks? Saw days ago ideas from reworking the archetype in Reddit. I really like them in Speed Duel. They have a really good Speed Duel deck. Like honestly, I want to be opposed to just making this like their boss monster, right? Like you got all 5 of them right there, right? If you made them like a 1/2 tribute monster with like really high attack, potentially just keep the effect the same, or make it like a two tribute thing with like a more of a vampire lord kind of thing, right? Where you can send any card. Like, okay, hear me out with something like this. Right, level 5, attack 2,400. That's Dawn plus 1,000. Actually, what if it's just Dawn's Luke plus like 1,000? Where's Donald Z? So 1,000 with 1,200 defense, I think. 1,500 defense. Uh, maybe just keep it 1,500. Like this might be too much. And then give it this like Vampire Lord thing. So what if it was something like this? He was clicking with the Don Z stats. It's like, what if we had something where it's like, all right, it's all 5 of them, right? One star for each one. We give it a much stronger attack. It might be too strong, honestly. I don't know. If we made it like a level 7 and gave it like 2500 defense, that might be a little bit more balanced. Right, it's Donald Z stats plus 1000. I get 2 tributes, so like it reflects the stats and just up its effect to make it more vampire lordy. How are you thinking about something like that? Because alternatively, we could have it where it has more like it still keeps like the 4-star thing. Or make it more like a we could make it where it is more in line with like the Dark Scorpion cards, right? Where it has like if this card inflicts battle damage, it adds whatever attack. So have it where it's each time. And then one is at flowing effect lets you spend it from Dark Scorpion when destroyed. Uh, if we were doing like a let's just spice up the card pool, I think I would be down for that. Unfortunately, this card that's just not how this card is designed. Like Donald Z. Mm, this guy's tricky. I think this is the main. I think this is probably the way to go. Just giving it like a more normalized. What's freaking Vampire Lady? I know Vampire Lady is like a week. Where'd it go? Yeah, give it that. Vampire Lord thing. And something else that fits with it. Because, like, Monet already has, like, the searching. How the hell do you spell this card's name? That's dark. Dark Scorpion Monet. Yeah, because Monet already adds Dark Scorpion from deck to the hand, and Yeah, maybe just special summon a Dark Scorpion monster from your hand. By that effect. Mm. Because we want to keep like its baseline effect there. We just make it a little bit better, giving you more of a choice of what they send. And then the other one, just give it something like also kind of basic that freaking like let me reference oh, what's the card? What's the freaking skill card? Dark Scorpion Plan or something. No one suspects the Dark Scorpion game, that's it. For that one, you can discard summon like a bunch from that. Yeah, just essentially just let it, because that kind of somewhat goes in line with like its skill card, right? You can special summon a bunch from like your hand or deck. Honestly, hand or deck, I don't hate. Nobody expects a Spanish Inquisition. Not at all. So at least like with this one, then you can summon like one from wherever. And because like the Dark Scorpion cards are already like really bad anyway, this guy already has really low attack, it does make it a little bit more worth it. I like that. So you can just get rid of one of the potential cards or something, which most of the time you're probably going to use its secondary effect, but at least we kept its like basic effect there. I can live with that. Got Dark Snake Syndrome. This card is nutty. It's chaotic. Poochie McDog, what's up? Imagine this was a hand trap when you duel Fall Dark Scorpions on the field. Yeah, yeah. What if it was like Exodia, the Forbidden One? That would be kind of funny. Speaking of Dawn Zalug, that one should be a flip monster. What, Deslakuta? I mean, it's a reflipper. It's using Pac-Man decks. D Tribe. Should D Tribe be like a continuous trap or like a permanent effect? The problem is I don't know if that technically makes it any better, or if it's like all monsters on the field are dragon type monsters, because then you can use it with like Buster Blader and Dark Paladin. Because I don't know like what else you necessarily do with this, right? Like you could have it where it's like all monsters on the field and in the both players' hands until the end of the turn. Because then you could do stuff with like Fluta Summoning Dragon or like King Dragoon when that's released later on. That could make it a bit better. Also, we're changing the name. What was the other card I changed the name for? Because I feel like we changed the name of like one of the cards, but I don't remember what it was. Called Dragon Tribe. Yeah, I mean that just means dragon. I don't know. Because I feel like it makes more sense when it's like monsters on the field, both players' hands and the GY treated as dragon types until end of the turn. Because at least then, like, if you have this like one card thing, essentially, you can at least do some sort of more. Yeah, you have more options for plays with this. I feel like changes everything, right? Whether it is like a Buster Blader or a Lord of D thing, or if you like, God forbid, change something for whatever other reason. I wish I remember what the other card was. It was, I'm pretty sure it was during the last stream. Maybe I'm mistaken. I'm not seeing anything. Maybe I'm thinking of something else that we changed. Little D, little dinosaur, little dimwit. This is the dimwit tribe. Ha! You freaking dimwits being turned into dragons. The dummies. Maybe it's the dummy tribe. Richie! The thing is, Richie's actually good. It's Great Desart that's really bad. So I think we'll get to Great Desart. Although I will. There is one thing I would change about this guy, though. Because I do like its like the way you have to like summon it because I like the story behind it. But there is like the one little caveat though. And this is what I'm not gonna post this entire effect here. This card must be first. Must be first be special summoned from dot 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 the rest the same. It's something so convoluted. Yeah, I think the more the problem is just a feature or of Great Desart as a card. Like when you get this guy out, like I've played against him with Yugioh from Zero. And, like this guy can be like really strong if you get him out, right? He has like really good stats. His constant reviving thing is like really strong. The main thing I would change though is just he must be first be special summoned instead of he can only be special summoned. So at least afterwards you can revive him after the fact. That's that would be like the main thing for him, I think. Because the main fixing is the card to get him out. That's the crux of the issue. Yo, Pelin Drones, what's up? Japanese name makes connection to the virus cards. What's the Japanese? Nosferatu Lich. Yeah, he's like a vampire. Nosferatu Ricci. I feel text. Gora Turtle. Vassal's probably the weirdest one to me. I feel like Vassal's the only one that has like never seen any play in like any sort of format. But I don't know if there's anything we can do with it though. Like aside from just making its stats better. But like, what's that really even doing anyway, right? Unless we made it like a blanketing effect. Like all battle damage on the field is treated as effect damage. That's at least something interesting. Because like even the burn ones, which are weird in their own right, saw play in speed duels. All battle damage is treated as effect. Or as long as this card is face up on the field. To make different. Yeah, like it wouldn't really do much. Um but it's potentially something you could like do something with because like it's not like you're not requiring it to attack over stuff. It's just like anything sure has effect damage, which could work with certain cards. Yeah, maybe a barrel behind the door. Yeah, like you have more opportunities to do stuff with it. I think that's important for a lot of these cards. You know, take what they're doing, take out like the stuff that just stinks about it, and make it at least more thought provoking, if anything. Yeah, a lot of cards that can't inflict battle damage. I think that's fascinating. There, we just fixed Gravekeeper's Vassal just like that. Bim bam boom. So I hate the way I have this like laid out. The docs is not nearly as long as I would like because I like the card right here. But it's better for you guys, and I'm for the people. Oh, speak of the devil. Also, real quick, this freaking Great Dizard. Let me just. I didn't notice this while I was looking at it today. I freaking look at this. Look at this hideous. Like I thought this guy couldn't be any worse. Bam, they're viable. Bam. Like if I think this guy could be any worse, you look at this dude and it's like, oh, really cool headdress, and then below it, it's just a freaking robe. What a nerd. I thought this guy couldn't get any worse, and yet here he is. But let's fix his effect though. The main thing for me, anyway, is one, his stats gotta be swapped. It does not make any sense for what the card's trying to do with those stats. So I am instantly swapping those stats around. I have played a freaking Fushio Richie deck, okay? I'm aware of what this card's problems are. It was a pet peeve of mine. A small child when he got his head shot with a monster, I couldn't see the torso. Yeah, I mean, well, now you know because his bottom half was just the lamest thing. Like I think this upper part looks really cool, right? As it's kind of a weird neo-Egyptian look to it, and I like even when you look at the card like very particularly, like the textures and stuff they have, like on the like the weird helmet thing, like the eyes, like it's really cool looking. This effect is terrible. Like honestly, I don't think this guy even needs like the first effect. It should just be monster destroys a monster as a result of battle. You and then I'm just gonna copy paste this. So this is what I would do for this guy, right? Part of me wants to make him like a 4-star monster, but well, whatever. Swap his stats around so at least he has high attack, right? Um, so when he destroys a monster with all battle, you can special summon future Richie from your hand or deck by tributing this card to your main phase. Let's say not just something in battle attacks directly. Well, so I want to keep it as battle because the whole idea of the card is that is like this priest dude, right? He like murders someone and then he becomes a zombie, like he becomes a vampire basically. And I really like that idea of the card. So I would want to keep that, especially if you're tributing for a much stronger monster too. Like the first effect is like it's good, but it's basically only there to protect him another turn. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I've gathered from the card that he's turning into this. He goes from like a holy guy to like an unholy abomination. And that's what I really like about it. So if you get rid of like the thing that's really slowing him down, which is a stat and the two monster condition, and you can get Future Richie, who now can be special from the graveyard if he's destroyed. It's suddenly like it's not gonna be like meta, but it's gonna be a lot better. At least 2300 can like beat over defenders and a lot of other things too. Like 1900, it's still really weak, especially with like Gemini Elf running around. Red Moon Baby on there. Where's my Vampire Baby? Vampire Baby, I just increase its attack, but I mean, like its main thing is just essentially beat a monster, get out Future Richie. I think this does the job. Hell Poemer is a weird one. It's another card I really like. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of these like additional packs off stream. I realize this is gonna like take forever. At least up till through like Ancient Sanctuary. This card's been sent to the graveyard as a result of battle's effects activated. Launch card exists in the graveyard. Your opponent discards one random card from his hand at the end of his or battle phase. So why is it that people don't play Help Wemmer? I guess is like the question. Well, I have my Wikipedia stuff like up on my monitor up here. That's why I'm looking up this direction. Also, by the way, if anyone wants to buy any of these cards, I got a TCG player affiliate link in the description. Gives me a little bit kickback. But if you also want to support me in general, I also got my Patreon down there. Got an OCG video there right now. Merrick played it. Yeah, Merrick played it. That was pretty cool. Oh, I never noticed. Great Protector is like a counterpart card. Remove the battle restriction. Well, like the thing is, it's that it's like like its discard thing is every turn, right? Like after it's destroyed. So like something like that like makes sense from a design standpoint, right? To like have it be a little more specific on like how it gets into the graveyard for that effect. Though we could make it where it is just like by your opponent's card. By an opponent's card by opponent's card. Well, so the way its effect is that it only works for like the first time it's sent, right? I think that's the problem with it. So I think its original printing is kind of confusing. Or did it get like more errata though? Because its original effect, yeah, it's like as long as it's in the graveyard, these cards at the end of the battle phase. But then it's changed. Well, the way it's written now, it's like the most recent print is that at the end of the battle phase, if it's in the graveyard because destroyed by battle, is it continuing? Is there a rule I can see here? Yeah, this card's confusing. Help Oemer. Puts the help in help Poemer. Yeah, I think just making it destroyed by opponent's card is just makes it better. There is a ruling if your opponent chooses not to conduct a battle phase, there is no time for the end of the battle phase, so its effect's not activated. But that also means like they can't like do battle phase stuff either. Which, it's like that's their loss more than yours, really, right? Potentially, depending on the game state. Imagine contributing one card, wait for it to get attacked and destroyed, and then waiting it for next turn to discard a rando card. I mean, technically, we'll discard a card right away. What if we got rid of its special summoning like restriction too? Because I feel like its stats are low for a reason, so I don't know if I want to bump those up. Because like the card, is going to have some inherent poorness to it. But at the very least, you can at least like you can revive it if you need to from like get it to the graveyard or revive it afterwards. And then there's also if it's just destroyed by any card, it cannot get its effect off. Yeah, I think it's more useful if you can have a way to get it back than worrying about like it losing its effect. Yeah, but it's only assuming you're playing against Necro Valley. I think this is at the very least this is what we can do to make it a slightly bit better. Remove a restriction and give it a little more opportunity to get its effect off. Oh boy, this card. um, well, Chaos wasn't around at this time. Gravekeepers was meta, but it wasn't like the top deck. But at this point, like historically anyway, like people like play with, but it Gravekeepers are still a pretty confident deck. Like in retrospect, like Yada format. This card's really bad. There is one benefit off of it. Um, so here's what I want to do: get rid of the cost, bump it up one extra card. Because the problem is that infinite cards exist. So why have a card that just bumps up your hand size by one? At least bump it up by two and not cost anything. Because then at least unlike infinite cards, it doesn't need to stay on the field. Now, if this was like if Yugioh was like really nutty, I would have it be like during the current match. But I think this is like the best we can do, honestly. Because we could make it like 10 cards, but at that point it's like infinite cards, right? Need some more of a reason. And bump by at least two seems a lot more beneficial than just one for whatever reason. Imagine if Slifer never existed. Or if he did exist. Hey, all the more power to you. I mean, infinite cards already exist by this point. Jowls of Dark Demise. Did we have like a similar card that like just takes control of a monster? Oh, it was Vader of the Throne. We gave it like a creature swap effect. I think that's what I'm thinking of. I think initially I had it have like a snatch steal kind of thing. Giles is fine. The plant Rafflesia. Kind of rough getting to other cards. Yeah, like Hieroglyph is kind of inherently bad anyway, but might as well make it a little bit better. Like it's never gonna be like I don't think we could ever, within reason, make it like great or anything. Yeah, like some of these cards are like they're not good per se, like in relation to other cards, but it's like they're designed fine, I guess. You take control monster, until the end of the turn, and they can attack directly like that. Yeah, I like that. Cruel. So Yugioh's real about toss a coin, call it sort of monster on the opponent's side of the field. Honestly, the only thing I would change about this card, like coin toss effects are like whatever, but I would at least swap its stats. At least there's more reason to play something with like a potential, because it's kind of nice that it doesn't have a downside effect. So if it had like good attack, there's more reason to play it with a potential pop effect. Make it destroy anything. I don't dislike that. Destroy one card. Yeah, if it's gonna be random, might as well give it something good, right? I used to use those old guys more aggravating than anything. Yeah, it's super aggravating, especially with coin toss. Give like a second coin toss thing. Yeah, that makes it a lot better. Bazongas! Boy, I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. Somebody stop me. God, Molten Behemoth. Bruh. mm. I don't think I want to touch vanilla monsters. I don't know if I've touched any vanilla monster. Because I just think like with vanilla monsters, like it's just there's so much you can change about them. Like we'd be going after like every single vanilla, really. Barring like, vanilla rituals per se. So I'll leave those. Yeah, you don't get this shit on other Yugi tubers. That only just adding more lore. I wish effect monsters had like even like a little bit of lore, but I understand. Like there would be stuff I would change about vanilla monsters, right? Making them just stronger on average, really. But like then we would be here forever, honestly. Like I would love for like Yugi Kaiba format, right, to have another 1800. Uh but there's so much balancing stuff, right? Like I probably just more 1800s in general, I think. But when this whole balancing thing, it's like I don't even want to like start getting into that. Like effect thing is already like its own task. Like, I want to propose like down the line, like taking a look at vanilla stuff, but I feel like that's more of a format to format thing than it is like on this like exercise of fixing all these old ass cards within a reasonable degree. Mucus Yolk. God, I don't think we even get past like I don't think we even get to Magician's Force this stream. This might be like a multi-stream thing, quite honestly. But we'll see. I certainly get through these quicker if I'm just like, doing it by myself too. I like that Magic Gathering effect monster flavor text. Yeah, even like dual masters and stuff too. But I understand there's already so much on the card. Right, unless they really started crunching down the art, and I don't want them to do that. Honestly, has something where it's like, like on like the outline of the card. I think some card games have that, of like stats and stuff. Each time it battle damage your opponents, increase attack, it's quite 1,000 by phase. This is kind of like, was it Raging Flame Sprite? During your next standby phase. That's even worse. I feel like I don't want to make this just Raging Flame Sprite number 2. Muckus Yolk. But lore on a database. Yeah, honestly, if they had like they had a database with lore, like that'd be cool. During next standby. Nah, standby phase is so bad. Let's make it end phase. Because it's one thing if it like also we're gonna bump up its stats too. If it's gonna be this much slower than like Flame Sprite, I don't know. For like 500 attack, defense doesn't matter. All right, thanks. Yeah, definitely check out the VOD afterwards. And the next stream, usually on Thursdays. Usually do a little bit earlier, but today was a little bit different, I suppose. But yeah, keep in touch. Hope to see you back. Drop it. Yeah, well, it's hard. It's like what do you do with this? I'll make it flame strike. Standby phases, that's way too long. It's basically useless. Right. What do we do with this guy? Because whether it is like right after the attack, like Flame Sprite or end phase, it basically is the same thing, right? So what do we do? What do we do? Make it clone itself with 1,000 attack? You mean like a Cause I'm not entirely sure what you mean. You mean like a giant germ kind of thing, or like? Because if we have it 1,000 attack to start, I guess it makes it a bit more like if we're doing standby phase, I suppose that does make it a little bit more viable, right? Origin Zero, what's up? This card's not affected by all other card effects. That directly negates 8,000 attack. What if it just had like a baseline? Because no other monsters really like the direct attackings don't really have 1,000 attack, right? Like the strongest is what, like 700. Though I think we did boost up Jinzo number 7. Yeah, well, yeah, he was bumped up to 700, but at least with 1,000, the next turn you get like 2,000, and a 2,000 direct attack on like turn 3 or whatever is certainly scarier. You just got to like survive an extra turn, so it essentially makes it it's easier to punch over by your opponent in some ways, but also can like gain more attack. I don't know if I want to do tokens. Like the card isn't really designed with tokens in mind. I think just like a baseline 1,000 attack makes it different than Raging Flame Sprite, or does it not? I don't know. Because now I'm thinking about because now my dumb reasoning brain is like, all right, well, if Raging Flame Sprite attacks, it gets 1,000 anyway. Although your following turn, Mucus Yolk would have 2,000 attack, which Flame Sprite would still have 1,000 attack. That's the main difference. But the problem with that though is that now this card is just better than Raging Flame Sprite. So what do we do? Like, I don't want to make it better than Raging. I mean, I suppose we could make it better than Raging Flame Sprite, but what's the point? Also make its attack like 900? No, yeah, I wouldn't make it any higher than 1,000. I'm saying I think 1,000 might be too high. Like 900 might be a bit better though. Because then it still makes it kind of weaker than Raging Flame Sprite. But you do start off with 900 direct attacker. That's like the main difference. No, I don't want to give a token effect. It's just that's not how the card is designed in any way. It's all about it's all about the direct attacking and how do we like balance that out. And I feel like 900 is probably the sweet spot. It's 200 more than like Jinzo number 7, but does give you more reason to play because of its like buff that it eventually gets 1900, which is a respectable amount. I think that's probably the way to go about it. Mystical Knight of Jackal. This was my boss monster back in the day. And I pretty much know how to fix this card. I think anyway. Is that we have his effect here. However, instead of sending it to the GY, so the problem with Jackal is that the him sending it to the graveyard can backfire if it's a card like Mystic Tomato or Sangan. So if we just bypass that and just say, hey, instead of graveyard at all, it just goes straight to the top of the deck, much better. The card still has issues, but like that's like its biggest issue. Love this card too. One of my favorite cards. Top 10 Janjo's cards. Just checking my phone real quick. Same effect but negates effect monster destroys in battle. Uh Potentially. I just feel like if we're like changing like the main like issue with it, it would be like the graveyard thing. And if we just bypass that like because cards do stuff like this, right? Where it just avoids the graveyard altogether. Because it doesn't really matter if it's negating or not, whatever. Like it's stacking the card. Like Dark Ruler Hades. Just look up so I can see the exact text of it. Uh, I think Jackal's probably fine. Like, it's not about negating stuff. It's just about stacking. Yeah, I don't want to start like giving it like brand new effects. Narrow pass, narrow pass. This card is kind of fun too. I think it's a fun card personally. See about a tire boy today. Writing for 10 minutes. These narrow pass, yeah, both players have like a small amount of monsters, and then like two additional monsters, which is like kind of crazy because like yeah, so like on paper, like all right, they can have four monsters, but kind of no. Um, Because basically, like, if their monsters get destroyed, right? If they lose two monsters, they can only summon two more. I'm pretty sure that's how this works. Right on your cell phone. Oh, that's weird. Don't know why that's happened to you. Yeah, so like this card's kind of like it's really finicky, and like I don't think I'm getting the rulings wrong. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So you can activate this if like you control two monsters, your opponent controls one monster, which is a weird way to activate. Their passes act is active, and a player normal summons. If a player normal summons his two permitted monsters afterwards, if one of those monsters is destroyed, cannot replace it with another normal summon monster. But this card's so freaking weird. But it does not restrict special summon or flip summons. That's a good question. Basically the same. This can only be activated when both players have two monsters or less on the respective side of the field. Both players can normal summon up to two additional monsters on the field. Honestly, I think this should just be just straight up summon. Let's make this cracked. Let's make it like any summon. Can summon set. Yeah, this only got like one errata, and it's basically the same thing. Like the blue eyes. What do I see? Which Azure Eyes or Spirit? I don't remember. No, it's not. The Blue Eyes White Spirit Dragon? What's it called? Oh, what's the freaking Blue Eyes card called? It's not Dragon Spirit of White. Oh, it was Boy Spirit Dragon. Well, why was Wikipedia being weird? I'm not sure which card you're talking about. Um, the way I have it right now, it's just any summon. It's a much more of a weird annoying floodgate thing, almost like a weird like a kind of awkward Kaiser Coliseum almost. Let's see, Nightmare Horse. Honestly, by this point in the game, I think we need a little bit of a stronger direct attacker. Let's give this guy an 800. Because I know we get Servant of Catabolism in this, which is, I believe, 700. So let's give this guy an 800. We potentially give him 900. The Servant. Yeah, Servant 700. Look at Reaper of the Nightmare real quick. As I read, the players can summon twice after this resolves. Basically. But it's like both players too. Oh, this definitely absolutely makes Narrow Pass horrendous, but I'm a crazy man. Ordeal's probably fine. 1400. Nah, it's just a pure direct attacking monster. Like I think of all the ones that you would want to be good direct attacking, I think this is like Nightmare Horse because it's a fusion material is like the best one for it. Because I potentially thought about like giving like other ones from Metal Raiders a buff too, but I just felt like just give one to have them a little bit more playable in that era. That's fine. So this card's like so weird, right? Putting your deck face up. Like it's totally silly. I don't hate it though. Poison Mummy. This guy could use a buff. Honestly, he has really good defense. Let's make this 1,000 burn damage. What was that other like? I think we had another like 1,000 burn card earlier. Somewhere on here. Zero type Magic Crusher. Death Koala shit's all over this card. Yeah, I mean, but might as well give this card something. Yeah, whatever. It's not worth the trouble. Well, like again, like we don't want to just add just random effects to these cards, right? We kind of want to keep in mind like how the card was designed and just like we're fixing the cards. We're not renovating like getting the cards like a complete new coat of paint. I think 1,000 is at least like reasonable for it. Pyramid energy. Monsters I have like 200 to end phase. Oh, yeah, this card could be a lot better too. For each zombie you control. I don't hate that. That's a little more thematic. Zombie type monster you control. I don't hate that. I can be fine with that. I feel like the defense thing on this is like kind of pointless. So let's just give it the attack buff, but also bump up the attack buff too to like 500 is probably fair enough because it is like all your monsters. I think the only weird thing with Poison Mummy though is that just like the a zombie burn thing isn't particularly common. But you could potentially deal like a chunk of damage with it though. I mean, reinforcements has already been power crept. I mean, we have Rush Recklessly from Magic Ruler. Like no one's playing reinforcements by this point in the game. God, there's so much in front guard that I gotta fix. Maybe I'm being a little more picky of the card, or I guess less picky because I'm on stream. I really like question. This is like, what do you even do with this card? Like, cause it's from the anime, right? Like the manga. Like, I don't know if you can even change this card. Yeah, it kind of is what it is. Like, I wish it could be something like I could play in a deck, but it's like, you know, like having a question like it's there's rarely any like cards like that in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, is this like the only one? So weird. Reaper on the Nightmare. I think due to the nature of us bumping on Nightmare Horse, this guy would be beneficial with more attack. I also think 1,200 or let's do 1,100 because that's Nightmare Horse plus Spirit Reaper's attack, and that's still a much better like direct attack too. Yo, Sojima or Sojima MX, what's up? Cards again, yes. I also think this card shouldn't have the targeting destruction because like it's a fusion monster, right? It's already like you're already spending so much effort to get this guy out. Let's get rid of this other like because it's such an old printing. Just realized that Reaper and Nightmare actually is combined attack and Fist Rabbit and Nightmare Horse. I think because Normal Spear Reaper has 300 attack. Nightmare Horse has I think 700, right? So I think it would be like no 500. Okay, yeah. So it is a combined attack of those two. But again, that said, because we bumped up Nightmare Horse's attack, we got to bump this guy's up. Because we bumped up Horses to 800. So therefore, this guy should have 1100. Which also makes him just better anyway, because again, getting the effort to get this guy out, you want like a solid direct attack. And you can't be destroyed by battle, which also protects you a little bit too, taking too much life point loss. And remove that targeting thing, because it's like again, if you want to get this a good guy out, get rid of the downside of it. Like this card's like sick as hell. Sick as F, man. Uh, Rope. I've always really liked Rope of Life. This card's kind of interesting, is it not? So if anyone hasn't liked the stream yet or anything, make sure you do so. We're almost at 10. Oh, we just got 10 likes. I don't know if you just did or not, but I just opened it up and saw. Cool. Don't forget, I have a little monetary goal up there. It's the last day of the month. We'll see if I hit that or not. Probably not, knowing my broke ass luck. I do all this stuff for free, guys. Soropa Life. Discard your entire hand when your monster sent from the graveyard for all a battle, especially on the monster. It's like if we just got rid of that, it's kind of like a cool monster reborn. But you have to use it during the battle phase, so. Yeah, I don't think like what's the point of the discard really? It's such a horrible downside. Because it's kind of cool because you can use it against like a torrential tribute. And because it is like based off of like, or I can't use it against torrential tribute. I mean, actually, yeah, should just. I guess like battle is. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Like it's bad in the sense that like yeah, you would prefer if it was also includes monster destruction, but the fact that it's makes it a little bit more specific might be good as far as like card design goes. So it's not just like a slightly more situational Call of the Haunted. So I'm just wondering, yeah, should it be in general or should it just be by battle? I'm feeling like battle might be a little bit more balanced with it. Because at the very least, your opponent still has like outs to certain things. And this card isn't like Call of the Haunted number 2. This might be balanced enough, just like the way the card's designed. Go up to 1,000 instead. I think 800's fine. I think that's like that's a good buff because it's just like a permanent buff. So I think getting rid of the hand discard is like the key thing more than anything. So like, once you get rid of that, it's definitely more card you can be like, all right, I could see myself playing this. Yeah, it's kind of like I mean we don't have it in TCG by this point, but it was a time machine. This is basically just that, but better. Which just give you the argument of like, I mean, I guess it's already kind of like time machine esque anyway. Not necessarily goat, but just think about like the I like to keep a relation to like other cards that exist because I don't want to make the card derivative either. I mean, the card's already basically like Time Machine anyway, right? So I think it's just it is what it is. Because like we get Time Machine for such a long time anyway, so like who really cares? This card's actually like kind of solid. It's not like, particularly great, but yeah, it's like why is this guy like the strongest? This guy's lame. Shape Snatch, Soul Eater, Spirit Reaper. This card I think is kind of fascinating. Feel everyone to like try it out more. Yeah, it's the first like token monster kind of thing, or the like the trap monster rather. I mean, it is a token monster, but wicked token because they can be like tributed and stuff. Like maybe you could have better stats. It was like getting destroyed. Maybe we'll just give it better stats. Yeah, I was kind of thinking 1500. We'll keep it. We'll keep it the same, I guess maybe. So you can use it for like either or. Because like now, like if it's a story, you can at least like potentially protect yourself from stuff. No, I don't think. I think the whole thing is like it's a singular token. We just want to make it the token you get to be worth the cost. That's right. Opponent skiff scissor next main phase 1. I think this card is using like machine OT, like reasoning gate, like not reasoning gate, reasoning OTK builds in the time. So I'll keep the same. Timidity. Field until the opponent's next end phase. Essentially, you set your cards, activate this, and your opponent can't set anything. It's like a weird cold wave almost. This card's probably fine. Oh no, they can't. Oh wait, I read this wrong. Both players cannot destroy set. Oh, I thought they just couldn't set. My bad. Like, what if it was just like Both players cannot destroy magic or trap cards. Yeah, may as well just be all. Because you could use this to protect your own stuff, which is kind of cool. But also means like you can't destroy your opponent's stuff, but you have to like use this first. Another player can destroy spell trap cards on the field until your opponent's next end phase. I mean that's a lot better right there. Yeah, it does protect you from like heavy MST dust. Like they could chain certain things to this card's activation. That's it, really. I mean, it's kind of bad for you because it's essentially a card that does nothing. But again, like the whole idea is like making a card, but giving a little bit more like utility and giving like its own effect. This is another card I've always like loved the art and stuff for. Just like the old eraser trick. Effect that inflicts damage. Life points activated. I get the activation. Points bonus any bonus. So it's kind of like a barrel behind the door, except your opponent discards a card. I mean, yeah, these are all like ugly, horrendous goblins, and if I offend any of them, then good. Yo, Mr. Nunn, what's up? Nah, I'd win. I feel like this card, because barrel behind the door makes sense, right? It reinflicts damage. I feel like this card needs a little more oomph. Any kind of damage. That's interesting to ponder. I do like the random discard too. Let's print its effect here. Your opponent then randomly. Let's start with that. This is just on my background playlist. Also negating attack too. Yeah, if it was like I don't know about like negating attack. Like only activate this card when see. Or when you lose life points due to an opponent's card. Or maybe. Um because like if you like negate damage, then essentially it's like how does something like was a hollow life barrier? That's before the fact though. It's like enchanted javelin. That's kind of like a little bit different. Yeah, it just increases your life points by the attacking monster. What's the best way to go about this? I do think the randomly thing is good. That's why Joe's now the negate game needs to negate all effects and banish your hand. Opponent's hands face down. Yes, absolutely. I feel like if you just take damage, it's just like it feels a little strong almost. Especially like if it's like a counter trap. Right? Like any damage your opponent just like it stops the attack or the card or whatever. Or I'm trying to figure out a way to go about this. It's like when you take from an opponent's card, the damage you receive reduce to 0. So your would this be worded as if like your monster would still be destroyed if it's like they're being attacked? Because this doesn't like negate the cards. Same one as confiscation. That can't do all that. I feel like the whole idea of the card is for effect damage, right? So I feel like we should stick with the effect damage side of things. The confiscation way might be a little bit better because at least it also gives you some hand knowledge. And then because it doesn't destroy any negates. I activate the card when effect that inflicts damage to your life points. Activate except for battle damage, which makes sense. This is just worded the way it is because of like old card text. Negate the effect damage you receive, and then look at your opponent's hand, select one card in it, and discard. So you at least get the choice to discard the card. That at least I would guess gives it a reason to play compared to like uh barrel behind the door. Maybe. Negate effect like a burn card and you get a confiscation. That's at least better. And I think I'll settle for better. Because you can use it for like Ring of Destruction, and then like rip a card out of your opponent's hand. Teuton Mask. Like Disease Moss prevents any damage. It's below 2.5k. Interesting. which I cannot think of that card off the top of my head though. There is one. To get activation effect. I feel like Tutamask can just be more generic protection for zombies, right? Negate of a card. Targets. You don't need to make it like super specific either. Target and destruction. It's negate the activation of a card that targets. So this also stops spells, traps, and also monster effects. No, I don't want to add special summon stuff. The card doesn't really have like it's essentially just a negate. I think we just make it be more of like an omni negate. That's just better. That's fair enough for the card. Wonder Woman's kind like a lot of these like reflipper things. Like they're fun cards. They're just not necessarily like good, but like they all have like a reasonable effect. For all these whatever call like the line of these monsters. Well, that's saying like they're not supposed to be flip monsters though. Like they have this own like specific kind of thing going on for them. I mean, theoretically, yeah, they can all be flip monsters, but like they have like some sort of their own benefit almost of that. See, winged saged falcos, winged sage, singular falcos. See, I feel like this guy is like the same, basically just the same thing as Jackal. But this guy's a little more specific on one face up monster. Like I will grant him like the slightly more of a downside of like it has to be like a face up monster compared to like Jackal's. Jackal is just any monster, which makes it a little bit more desirable. Maybe Rise's attack. Yeah, maybe. I mean, 17 is like a fine enough attack just because there is like a chunk of 16 hondos. Or at least like they'll 1600 become a little bit more popular. Yeah, some cars are just of their time. Face up attack position. Because like again, the idea of this guy is like you stop like the weak monsters and they get like recycled, and you essentially try to lock your opponent out. And again, the main downside is those stuff that get benefits from going to the graveyard, like the floater and recruiter monsters, in which this guy does take care of them. It's just that's he doesn't really go all the way. I feel like at least making it similar to Jackal, gets it to that point where they're trying to be, and that's kind of the main purpose of this exercise. And then Yomi ship, which doesn't really need any fixing. Man, look at this. This freaking took us. How long did this take us? A little over 2 hours, just for Pharaonic Guardian. Like I'm sure if we did like LON or LED, it might also be like way longer. But I think we did a lot of fixing so far. I mean, this is what, like halfway through. I won't be surprised if next week's stream also is going to be like this too. Like another. I mean, y'all seem to be liking these card fixing streams. To my surprise, I honestly thought these would just be like dead streams. So I appreciate y'all. So you're going after a Pharaonic Guardian. One of, if not my favorite set. Yeah, this is like halfway. We got Magician's Force, Dark Crisis, Invasion of Chaos, Ancient Sanctuary, Soul Duels, Rise of Destiny, and Flaming Eternity. At least those last three should be like way quicker though. I might do Magician's Force, maybe Dark Crisis off stream. But I'll definitely save Invasion Chaos for next time though. All right, well, I think I'm gonna stream there. I know I've been streaming for too terribly long, 2.5 hours, but it's been a long day for me, and I was able to stream for you all. So thank you all for watching and having fun helping me figure out this stuff. Uh, but yeah, just gonna call it there. So hope you have a good rest of your night. Until I see you all later, have a wonderful day.